Hey friends, I had a pretty bad day yesterday and I kind of would have liked to have made a video about it, but I was pretty tired by the end of it, so I didn't feel like doing it. But it's funny because just a couple of days ago, I remember scrolling through my YouTube videos and seeing so many videos that are like, be optimistic, you can do anything you want, connect the most ambitious people in the world to each other, blah blah blah, which are all things I'm completely sincere about. And at the same time, and I remember while I was scrolling through that, I was thinking, the vibe is so flat. And, it would be, I would never induce myself to have a bad day just so I could make different content. But it kind of happened, today was my dad's birthday and it actually went well, but I've always just had this like background paranoia whenever I have family events coming up because when I was a child, blah 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 stuff. And I have a bunch of work that's like overdue or in a mess. I haven't replied to a bunch of emails. I worked out today. I was feeling physically kind of underworked out, if that makes sense. So it just yesterday was a bad day. Today is a better day, but I wanna talk about bad days in general and frustration. And I tweeted a thread about it that made me feel better. So now I'm already feeling better. But like yesterday was, I wouldn't say it was like a low point. I haven't had like a bad low point since a few years ago, but it was like a local, what's the opposite of an optima? A local minima? Oh, minima. It's a local minima. And I I have at the same time been watching season 4. I've been watching The Legend of Korra, the Avatar TV series on Netflix. It's originally on Nickelodeon. And well, the Legend of Korra is the sec is like a sequel. The original show was Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is the Legend of Aang, and that show is pretty widely well recommended. The Legend of Korra kind of divides people. Some people love it, some people don't really like it as much. I personally like it a lot, but it has its weak points and it gets murky in the middle. And I feel like they were quite ambitious and they didn't have enough time and space to kind of properly tie everything up. But I see what they were trying to do, and I can get a lot of value out of that. I don't know if that's weird about me, but like in general, I'm quite forgiving of art that tries, even if it fails. I can't forgive art that doesn't try. So art that doesn't try pisses me off. Like, that's my perspective, right? And so Korra is the Avatar. There's like this hero who's supposed to save the world, and there's a new one reborn in every cycle or whatever. So Korra is one of the avatars, and I just witnessed her struggling with her role and sometimes not being able to do stuff. And in like season 4, she's traumatized by past failures and her confrontations with the villains, and like the she was poisoned at the end of season 3, and so in season 4 she's still recovering from that poison, and like that has an effect on her, and she can't have her full powers. And like just witnessing her go through that, for me, I found it to be very healing and very cathartic. And I think there's a reason for that. It's not just like, so there's a reason these things are good. And I think it's also why video is a good medium, or voice is a good medium. There are things that you can't entirely do with text. You can try to approximate it, and really good text artists figure out a way to do that. And I think I have had moments where I've brushed up against it, maybe. But there's a certain emotional resonance from witnessing someone's struggle, I think, or their triumph, or their despair, whatever. Like witnessing that stuff, I think there's a certain like the mirror neuron kind of thing. I don't know what the specifics are of how exactly it works, but witnessing someone else go through a struggle and come out of it triumphant, it something about that mirrors in us. It does for me, and I think it does for other people as well. I think that's part of why art is so powerful. And yeah, so that was good for me. And then so today I woke up. I went to bed and I woke up. I drank a bunch of water because I was dehydrated, and that's like the most. Drinking water is like I was just talking about like emotional narratives and shit, but like the most basic thing tends to be like physical meatbag stuff. So like drinking water, which I did, and I felt better about that. Then I went and did some squats with weights. I haven't done it in a few months, so I had to start over with really low weights, which always makes me feel a bit weak and pathetic. But it's like intellectually, I know that hey, whenever you fall off the wagon, when you start again, you got to start from the bottom so that you don't injure yourself. And but like just and so I think I put that off for some time, and then I was watching Cora learn to walk again after she got poisoned, and I'm like, if the avatar who can freaking fly and has I mean she has like can control the elements and all that stuff, she has to learn to walk again one step at a time, then I can squat 20 kg 30 kg and be cool with that. So it helps to have that image, and I feel like maybe it would be useful to me to have like a screenshot of Cora learning to walk again as a metaphor for myself, to remind myself that it's okay to start again from scratch, right? And yeah, I still have a bunch of emails to reply to that I haven't replied to. What else? I have a whole bunch of stuff. My house is a mess. I cleared a bit of it yesterday. I got more stuff to clear tomorrow. Just a bunch of junk in my drawers and shit. That just everything just accumulates, and I just have to deal with that. And my ebook is still not out. It's still in development hell, which is an unpleasant place to be. And I'll figure it out. But just something about all of those things hitting me at the same time. And the pandemic means that I can't travel, and like my goal for 2020 that I was looking forward to throughout the previous decade was that I was planning to go to New York in April, and that that couldn't happen. And it's not even clear if it's going to be sensible to travel to New York this year. And if I travel, the point of traveling for me is to like meet friends. And if I can't do like a couple of events and bring a bunch of people together, I don't know if it's worth doing. So I should, I'm still grieving that in some way. Like I'm still sad that it's not happening, and I'm still in denial about it. And the way out will probably be for me to meet friends locally and to meet friends on Zoom and stuff like that. I do have a salon with the II in a couple of days. I do a salon every month, and it always feels pretty good for me. But it is what it is. I think I want to spend the last couple of minutes just talking about bad days and struggling. I hesitated. I was gonna tweet about my experience, my feelings on my alt rather than my main. My alt meaning my second Twitter account that's private and for my close friends. But then I thought, why not? Like, what's the point of building an audience? So I have about 27,000, approaching 28,000 people on Twitter. What's the point of building an audience if you can't be honest with them about your downtime, sort of, right? And I think I inadvertently cultivated an image of myself that is kind of, very ambitious, very kind of high energy, optimistic, and those things are true. My current struggle doesn't mean that my general state is false or incorrect, but it feels like it. Right? It feels like fraudulent. It feels fraudulent to have bad days when you're a person who's always let's freaking bring forth a golden age for our species. But when I sit back and I think about it and I reflect on the people who have done the work over the years, I'm like, everybody struggled. Nobody started and then went up and never went down, right? So that's something I have to periodically face again and internalize and revisit. And yeah, it is what it is. And I guess I just wanted to do a kind of public record statement on this channel as well, that I have bad days too sometimes, and I had like bad years at some point, and now a bad day now and then is kind of, I know what to do to recover. I know to kind of calm down, do breath work, and like make to-do lists of short little things that improve my day in small little ways, right? Drink water, do some squats, take a nap, clear my desk. Like all these little things kind of add up and build momentum. And yeah, when I posted about it on Twitter, a bunch of people replied very positively, and they were like, oh, we're also going through rough times. These are rough times. And it feels nice to see kind of human struggling visa, which is I don't have to pretend to not, I don't have to hide myself from my friends, which is nice. So let me know how you're feeling, and done.